Hello, hello, Taurus. Welcome to your June 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Taurus. And I just want to let you guys know that I have launched a podcast. I'm super, super excited about it. And I have included the info in the description box if you're interested. So go ahead and check that out. I hope you enjoy, and I'm going to lay these cards out and then we will get started. Okay. So I'm going to pull these oracle cards, and while I do this, go ahead and take a deep breath into the diaphragm. Notice anything that wants to come up today during this reading. Just pay attention. And I had you guys vote on Instagram which deck you wanted me to use, and you guys voted for Animal Spirit, so here it is, making its appearance. And if you're wondering which decks I used, I've listed them all out in the description box, so you're welcome to check those out. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with the truth bomb for you. Tenderness is mighty, so be gentle. This is going to be a time when you're just going to want to slow down, take a breath, take it one step at a time. Try to work with your body, pay close attention to what it is that you need, what it is that you want, and just try to deliver in whatever way that looks like for you. Now the animal card for you is Sea Serpent. Okay, so I'm definitely getting a lot of yin energy or feminine. So focus on flow rather than force. This is going to be a month when you're really going to want to do that, especially, this is mostly Gemini season, but it will transition into Cancer season towards the end of the month, and things are really going to get more and more sensitive heading into that time. So this is when you're going to want to be really gentle with your heart, be really gentle with, anything that's coming up, whether it be a thought or a younger part of yourself, a younger version of yourself. You want to be extra, extra gentle with it. Okay, and then the Sovereign Oracle, we have Container. Be intentional about what or who you wish to show up in the space you have provided. Set the energy for the endeavors up front. Hold space for spirit and trust. Okay, so it's all about the nest, as I like to call it. If you are trying to manifest something, or if you want something to make an appearance in a space that you've created, you have to set that intention and create that nest for it to arrive, kind of like creating a nursery if you're welcoming a baby. It's that same idea. So make sure you honor that with your manifestations as well. Now let's get into the central energy for you this month. Six of Cups. I'm actually getting that this is reciprocity. So what things have you been giving and what have you been receiving in return as a result? Pay close attention to where things might feel out of balance or not exactly playing to your favor. That's a good place to just check in and ask yourself, is this something you want to continue, or is this something that you need to phase out? Just ask the question. All you're doing is checking in and evaluating. Now let's see what's shifting out for you. We have the Hermit. So this is like a quiet time, contemplation, maybe doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes has been more of your focus at this time. And no matter where you're at in this process, it seems like you're more awake and aware of what you're shifting into and what it is that you desire and what you're building for yourself. That's why this is having you evaluate, give and take. And it's coming from this introspection space, like, oh, I was sitting on that, or I was contemplating that, and now I'm really seeing what's going on here in what I'm getting through the external experience or through my relationships outside of myself. And then the oncoming energy, we have the Tower. I'm going to clarify this one because this is something is being broken down into, it's something new. It's kind of like this is what creates compost for the next step or the next stage or the next experience that you're having. So to clarify the Tower, that oncoming energy, Two of Swords. So what have you been ignoring? That's actually the question that's coming up now. Like there's something that is probably needing to go. Now you have two options with this. So there's probably something that you know you need to get to, or there's something that you've been wanting to take care of, or maybe there's something you know you really urgently need to take care of, but you've been scared. Whatever the case may be, it's kind of like that's the thing that's going to get pushed over or knocked down in the oncoming energy, because it's like the Two of Swords represents what you're not looking at or what you're not thinking about or what you, less about what you can't see. I'm getting that you actually know or see this. This is something you're already aware of. It's more of like an ignorance is bliss kind of attitude, and so I'm just getting that there's like a lot of shielding that you're doing, but that really needs to be that needs to be adjusted in some way, shape, or form, just because the Tower is going to shift that for you if you don't actively, or if you're not proactive with this. So just think about, what have you not been wanting to get to, or what have you not been wanting to let go of, but you know you need to? And I would actually recommend doing it beforehand, like, you know, rather than having the Tower do it for you. Like I would say, just when you see the bug, when you see the issue make an appearance, like it's safe for you to do what you know is best, right, and true for yourself. You don't need to wait for things to get worse. Like that's not necessary, although a lot of people like taking that approach. So these 4 cards that I've laid out, I left them really fluid, so they're just whatever you need to know, whatever needs to come up, whatever is in your vicinity or going on this month. That's what I'm using these cards for. So the first thing coming up is the 8 of Cups. This is that transformation in the way you're thinking about things. This is similar to the 6 of Cups, except this is the integration of that information. And then we also have Temperance. So finding more of a strategic and balanced way to perceive things and think about things. That's what's coming up here. Let me pull the others because I want to get the full picture here. We have the 5 of Pentacles. This is fear coming up around not having enough, or it not working out, or like if I release that thing or I let go, then will something better appear? Will I be supported in that decision, etc., etc. And then we also have the King of Pentacles. So this is kind of like the fear and the solution. You have the resources, or you have the ability to cultivate the resources that you need. It's not a matter of, you know, if you can, it's like more of a matter of belief, right? Because if you're expecting things to go wrong, the universe always says yes. God's always going to say yes. Like, okay then. You don't believe the resources will appear? Okay then. You don't think you're supported? Okay then. That's kind of the way this works. So that's why positive affirmation, or affirming things that you do want to happen, is way, way, way more powerful than anything else. So this here, this transformation in the way you're looking at relationships, the balance, the give and take, the reciprocity is very, very important for you this month, because it's going to highlight what isn't working. And if something isn't working, then it's not necessary for you to like try to force something to work that simply isn't gelling with you. You know, that's kind of the way this whole thing is looking. Now I'm going to clarify these cards down below. And we have Justice. So the truth is like somewhere in the middle, right? It's, yes, you could totally have things go wrong, but it's dependent on belief. So the Justice card is saying you don't want to focus on just what's realistic. That's not the quote unquote right approach, right? Because if you only did that, then you would always fall back into scarcity, because what's realistic is often scarce. So this is where the King of Pentacles has that medicinal self-assurance, confidence in the things that he's able to call into his space. And that's something that this is modeling for you. The balance can be found in acknowledging the fear as it comes up, you know, knowing that it's trying to serve a purpose and keep you safe. That's always what fear is doing, no matter how much it lies, no matter how much it whispers in your ear, all of the self-doubt and whatever else is coming up. It really does require you to stick to what makes sense for you and what's in alignment with you and what feels good to you. That is going to override any concerns that you have, because the faith piece that's playing into this whole thing really comes from you trusting that what you can't mentally problem solve or what you can't outthink is going to be supported or bolstered by something that you cannot see, right? It's going to be supported by that divine source, that universe, that God, that whatever you like to work with. So that's where it's kind of like, even if you have the fear, it's going to come up. But the whole point is that you want faith to override that as much as you possibly can, and try to not negotiate with the scarcity, but just understand that it's serving a function even if it's not helpful or useful at this time. So try to have some compassion for this scarcity mindset that might be coming up for you, and just have the confidence that there's no reason why you can't get your fair share of miracles, or you can't have the right things that you need, want, and desire in this lifetime. Now we're going to get into the timeline portion of the reading. So first, second, third, and fourth quarter, that will be where you end the month of June. So the first thing coming up is the Five of Pentacles. So this is good, because it's like the first thing you get to tackle is the Five of Pentacles. It is that scarcity mindset, or the what if it doesn't work out? What if everything falls apart? What if? The other thing that's coming up is, especially with the Six of Cups, think about who is adding dead weight when it comes to your social life, or who really is not making a positive contribution socially to you. Like, who actually has negative value in your life. That's a good thing to consider, just because it could also be that relationships are some things that, you know, need to be evaluated as well. That could be something that you're feeling scarce around, like, what if I don't find anyone else, or what if I can't make any more friends, or what if I don't get that partner that I want so bad. Those types of things keep you in a state where you're not going to get better if you accept less than. So you're gonna have to make a decision there if you're dealing with that. Quarter two, we have the Two of Pentacles. This is where you're really starting to make decisions about what is it that you are doing moving forward. Like, are you holding on to the old stories? Are you holding on to the old people that you've had in your life? Are you holding on to the clutter, or are you ready to release it and move on and start choosing better and selecting new people, places, things, opportunities for yourself? Like, you're in the driver's seat here. I remind you guys of this all the time. You have free will. No matter how much energy I read or how many cards I put down on this table, you are still in charge of the way you utilize it. So this is where it's kind of like, I don't know, it's up to you. Level up or stay where you're at. That's your call. And then third quarter, Son of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups in a normal deck. Hold on, let me pull this first. Seven of Swords. Okay. So I needed to see what was happening here to get the context of this. Now, this is about walking away, right? Seven of Swords is take what you want and leave the rest. Take what you need and leave the rest. But you have to be incredibly honest with yourself about your feelings. You have to be really, really, like I said, gentle with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Be tender with yourself. But also understand that your feelings aren't wrong. You know, just because you've had a friend for a long time, or you've been in a job for a long time, or you might have certain loyalties to certain people, and doesn't mean that you haven't outgrown them. So this is where it's kind of like that, what is it, rock in a hard place? Like, there's probably going to be a lot of phasing out that you're doing, and this month seems to be like you're taking inventory and really checking in, like, does this person make sense in my life? Does this space feel good any longer? Is this adding more weight than adding more fun? Like, really start looking at it as cost benefit. You're going to have to start evaluating things and sifting through things like that. And if you come up with something is more costly than it actually adds benefit, then really, really think about that. Think if you want those things to sit in your space any longer, or if you're ready to just say goodbye, like, nope, I'm ready for bigger and better. I'm getting this entire experience is saying you're ready for bigger and better, but that's always what the universe wants. It wants to support you. It wants to give you bigger and better. It wants to create space where you might be resistant, because it's saying, hey, you know, you can do better than where you're at right now. But that's a very challenging thing for people to realize if they've been in the same mindset for a long time. So just keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question, feel into whichever card is right for you. Pick as few or as many cards as you like. You can ask yourself 1, 2, or 3, whatever makes sense for you. Okay, card number 1. 2 of Pentacles. So consider every decision to have weight this month. Like, if you move forward with that thing, if you say yes to that favor, what are you communicating on a macro scale? So if you were to expand every small decision and look at it in the long term, that could help you figure out what you actually want to do in the present moment. Because, like, if you were to say yes to that thing every single time, where would it lead you? If you were to say no to that every single time, where would it lead you? And I think the more you start considering that, the clearer things are going to get in terms of what you're communicating energetically. Card number 2, we have the 4 of Wands. Focus on, like, taking care of your physical living space, because the 4 of Wands is the happy home card, but it also is communicating that things are really coming together, but you want to make sure that you're nourished. So be tender, take good care of yourself, nourish your space, take good care of the things that you have around you, and just be really mindful of what you're surrounding yourself with. That's an important piece of this. And then card number 3, we have the 5 of Swords. Time to let go, time to walk away. It's kind of like the battle is over. You've done all you can. You've tried it out. It's simply not for you. Something is not working here. So you need to make a decision to step away. Otherwise, things are just going to keep going the way they're going. And this typically isn't a happy-go-lucky card. It's like things are probably not working to the best of their ability. So it's safe for you. This is giving you permission to step away from what no longer works. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I always, always, always appreciate you, and it is such an honor being able to do these readings for you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. There's been lots of good stuff going on over there, so make sure you check that out. And just so you guys know, I have made a lot of changes to my website and what exactly I'm offering. So I'm doing way more work with people one-on-one and individual sessions. I have been dialing back the private email tarot spreads that I was doing. I am really taking a step back from those and working with people one-on-one. But if you are interested in doing some energetic healing with me and more of the deep healing work, that is absolutely what I'm available for. And don't forget, I still do lots of tarot on Patreon. There's weekly sign-specific readings, as well as the monthly love and relationship readings for every sign. They're big readings like this. So all of the links for that are in the description box. I hope you check all of that out if you're interested. There's lots and lots of varieties and options for everybody. And don't forget, I have a podcast out now. The link for that is also in the description box. Please check that out. I hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best, everybody. Have a wonderful June, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.